Today the monster and I are up here to pull this Century 8th horse, 700 RPM, 150 volt motor apart. And after discussing it with several people, both online and then here locally, we've kind of come to the conclusion that this is probably a special duty motor with a remote starter. So we're going to pull it apart and find out if that's true, and if that's true, I'm probably just going to scrap it. And I was also discussing with someone about how in order to get the lower RPMs, they probably ended up sacrificing startup torque so that you're even at her best. This is a kind of a no-load start motor, which, if that's true, makes it rather unuseful for me. But before we write her off, let's find out all about her shiny innards. Regardless, the motor clamps and mount, those are worth something. So even if she ends up going to the great scrapyard in the sky, some of her bits and pieces will live on. It's greasy, babe. Ooh, maybe the pieces won't live on. Well, now she should be ready for her big undressing. Oh, sexy girl. What do we got in here? Ho, 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 ho. Never mind. She's trash. It's a bushing motor, not a bearing motor, and the front bushing was not greased. And they're just like, gosh, I'll have to look up his name. Just like somebody predicted, it is a remote start motor. There is no startup circuitry. Pretty inside. Number one, look at that sort of crown cooling fin arrangement. That's legitimately kind of neat, but unfortunately there's the damage. She is, for all practical purposes, unusable. No wonder I couldn't feel any bearing problems. There are no bearings, it's bushings. Bushing, 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 bushing. That's the front one that died. Look at in here. Look at this corrosion. Now, oh, wow. I talked with some folks. It's like the lacquer's all gone. Well, look at that, I'm not even pointing the camera very well today. The binding string is just all brittle. It did come out of a boiler, and it had something to do, it's not a salt chemical, but it, anyways, it, what do you call it, a scrubbing chemical? So, damn corrosive, right? And that's, the motor ran a pump, a slow speed, slow water pump. So there was no startup against it. He didn't know if there was startup windings. He just thought you plugged that in and it was just a special plug, and he thought it was all special. Hey! No making a mess pile. No. Stop. Thank you. Where are you going with that?
I'm going to take it to the fire.
No. What did I just say?
I'll go to the fire right here.
No. Put the firewood back on the pile. Not the little pieces. The little pieces go back in the scrap box.
This is saving wood.
Yeah, that's wood that was never supposed to be out there in the first place. I swear. Had 4 years, few months. Talking to you is like trying to train a goat. Can you make goat noises?
Goat noises.
Yeah, it's alright. Anyways, he had no idea about anything special in any kind, and he just ordered a $300, $400 replacement motor for the big boiler from the company that made it, and it plugs right in, and that's what he knows. It has remote starting, as you can see. Right here is where the starting switch would have been mounted. My guess is this Century chassis put a lot of things in, but you could also see everything is just so. The motor existed in a world of continuous, very high heat. Not melt stuff high heat, but like, you know, it existed at 150 degrees forever because it was bolted to the boiler. And that's where we sit. I wonder if I can pull this apart and get an aluminum scrap, or if I should just throw it away. Well, I expected that video to go a little longer. Ta-da! It's done.